Hello everyone, this is Kruti Patel from Pharmaceutical Technology Department, LJ Institute of Pharmacy. Welcome to Pharma Ignite, the official channel of LJ Institute of Pharmacy. As you all know, because of this pandemic situation, we have started with the online sessions. Today I am going to start with the subject Novel Drug Delivery System. This video is for the 7th Sem students. Okay, now in this semester you are going to have this new subject which is known as Novel Drug Delivery System. Now in this subject you are going to study about novel drug delivery system. Okay, let's catch words. Novel drug delivery system. That means something new dosage form you are going to study, that is novel drug delivery system. Till now you have studied various conventional dosage forms like tablet, capsules, suspensions, emulsions. This all are conventional dosage form. Now you are going to add something new in those formulations or in those delivery systems. That's why it is known as novel drug delivery system. So let's start with the topic. Today I'm going to start with the microencapsulation. My today's topic is microencapsulation. Now let's catch words. Micro, there are three words. Micro, encapsulation. Okay, let's understand this word first. Micro means small. Encapsulation, that means you are capsuling something. Okay, so that is known as encapsulation. So micro encapsulation means you are going to produce capsules in micron size, ranging from 1 micrometer to 1000 micrometer. Okay, you have studied capsules. Okay, so in this session you are going to study about microcapsules. Now how these microcapsules are formulated. Now there will be a continuous polymeric phase or film around core material. Okay, now see here, core material. What is core material? Core material will be your drug, the substance which you want to deliver. Okay, so that is known as core material. So core material is there. Around that there is one polymeric layer, a layer of polymer protecting that drug. Okay, and that will be in micron size. In this diagram it is looking very large, but it is not so. It is in micron size. That's why it is known as microencapsulation. So microencapsulation is a process by which individual particles, either they can be solid or liquid particles, are coated with polymeric material to produce capsules in micron size. Okay, so that is known as microencapsulation. Moving ahead, there is also another term which is a bit confusing with microencapsulation. The other word is microsphere. Okay, now what is this microsphere? What is the difference between microsphere and microcapsule? As name suggested, microcapsule means small size capsules. Capsules means you have a material in which you will be delivering drug. Okay, it will be encapsulating. Now in case of microspheres, let's catch words. Micro means small. Sphere means round particles. Okay, so in microsphere there will be a smaller particles. Now those particles can be hollow, okay, or that can be rigid. Okay, either can be there, but it will be in solid form only. Whereas in case of microencapsulation, you can deliver your drug either in liquid form or solid form or in gaseous form. Any of the three forms you can supply. Whereas in case of microsphere, it will be only in that method only you can supply solid form of dosage form. Your drug will be hollow, okay, or that can be hard, but that will be the matrix type of system. Now here comes your new word, matrix system. Now what is that matrix system? I'll be explaining you. Okay, so microsphere, that means they are the small particles ranging in the size of 1 micrometer to 1000 micrometer. Okay, let's understand the difference between microsphere and microcapsule. See here you can see the diagram. In case of microsphere, there is one round in which your drug particles are suspended. Those white particles in blue big sphere is the drug molecule. Okay, so here you can see a drug molecule suspended in polymeric solution. Okay, whereas in case of microcapsule, see there are two diagrams. first diagram there is a shell around in which you have that blue sphere, and in that blue sphere again you have white dots. Okay, so what is the case? Your drug is suspended in matrix form. That means there is a gel-like structure of polymer in which your particles are entrapped. Okay, so that is a matrix system. And in the other diagram there is a shell, in that you have that blue sphere. That blue sphere is drug. Now let me tell you what is the difference between microcapsule and microsphere in very simplest language. You all might be liking gems, the chocolate gems, right? Have you ever seen that gems very carefully? They are the chocolate particles or chocolate pellet coated with white material, and on that you have different colors. Okay, so that is what you can say, that is an example of microcapsule. Okay, what you are doing, you have a material, outside there is a layer, and that material is entrapped in that. So that is microcapsules. Another example, the chocolate pulse, you all might have tried, right? Or we can say center fill, right? In all those things, what happens, your main molecule, liquid drug or jaljeera powder or whatever you say, that is in between center, and around that you have a layer, your choco lava cake. So there are various examples. Okay, so they all are microcapsules. Now let's talk about microsphere. You all might have tried that peppermint, or you can say mango bite. Okay, in that case what happens, there is no outer layer. Okay, there is only one part, only one sphere, no extra outer layer. So that is known as microsphere. Now I guess the difference between microsphere and microencapsules is clear, right? Let's move further. The next is different structure of microsphere or microparticles. So there are mainly two types of structures. First is reservoir and second is matrix. Now what is this reservoir? Let's sketch words. Reservoir means something which is reserving. Okay, let's talk about choco lava cake. What happens? There is a liquid inside, and around that there is a layer of chocolate cake or chocolate brownie, whatever you say. What happens when you break it? The liquid comes out immediately. Okay, so that is the same case happening with reservoir system in dosage form. There will be a liquid inside polymer. So what happens, the polymer will be broken and your drug will come out immediately. Okay, so that is reservoir. Let's talk about matrix. You have your mango bite, you are adding it into water. What happens? It is dissolving gradually. Okay, so same case happens with our dosage form. But when that goes into our system, what happens? The entrapping polymers will be dissolving slowly, and as those polymers dissolve, your drug will be releasing. So drug will be releasing with specific time interval, whereas in case of a reservoir, the drug might release one at the same time. Okay, so that is reservoir and matrix system. If we talk about reservoir, then again there are two types of reservoir systems. First is mononuclear system and second is polynuclear system. Again, let's sketch words. Mono means one, nuclear means nuclei. So there will be only one nuclei, that means only one system, no other nuclei. So that is mononuclei. See, you can see that in diagram very clearly. And second is polynuclear, that means there will be a polymer in which poly means more than one. Okay, so in which there will be more nuclei containing drugs. So there are a number of different microcapsules which are coated in a single polymer. So that is known as polynuclear type of reservoir. Okay, and last is matrix, which I have already explained you. Moving further, what is the need of microcapsules? Why we need to go for microencapsulation? There are various advantages, or we can say there are various applications which shows that microencapsulation is a fantastic method. If you look at the first advantage, then it is for sustained or prolonged drug release. As I said, there is a reservoir and matrix system, so you can control the release rate of your drug according to your need. Okay, so that is the first advantage, or you can say first application. Second is it can mask odor or taste of any bitter drug, which improves the patient compliance. Okay, so that is our second application. I guess it is very easy, I don't need to explain. What happens if there is a bitter drug? Around that bitter drug there is a layer, there is a coating, okay, which won't be having bitter taste. So that improves the patient compliance, right? Moving further, the next application is when we want to convert any our liquid drug into solid dosage form, then this microencapsulation is fantastic method. That is because that is ranging in microns. So if you have liquid drug particle, you can just coat it around and you can have that solid particles, because if that drug is in micron size, then think the ml which can be incorporated in that solid polymer will be very small, right? So yes, you can convert your liquid drug into solid drug, okay? So that is the application. The next is, yes, you can protect your sensitive drugs from effect of oxygen or moisture or whatever. So if you have any sensitive drug, that can be environmental sensitive drug, or that can be oxygen sensitive drug, or that can be temperature sensitive drug, any drug which is sensitive, you can protect them or you can increase their shelf life by this microencapsulation method. The next is to solve incompatibility. Yes, I want to give two different drugs in a same dosage form and they both are incompatible. So what I can do, I can prepare microcapsules of drug A, I can prepare microcapsules of drug B, and then I can combine them in a single dosage form. Prepare microcapsules and then combine it in capsule form. Okay, so yes, you can solve incompatibilities between two or more than two drugs. Moving further, if your drug is volatile, say for example peppermintol, okay, or methyl salicylate, these are volatile drugs, and if you want to give those drugs, then you can, what you can do, you can prepare small capsules, you can prepare micro capsules, and then you can incorporate into your dosage form. Say for example, methyl salicylate is used in various painkiller tube, your Move or anything, right, Volini or anything. I want to stop the vaporization of methyl salicylate because that is volatile drug. So what I'll be doing, I will be encapsulating that methyl salicylate in polymer, and then I will be incorporating that drug into my paste form or my gel. So what happens when I apply that gel, that microcapsules will be busted, and that my main molecule methyl salicylate will come out and that will give effect. Okay, so yes, that can be the application. The next is to reduce toxicity or GI irritation. We know there are many drugs like ferrous sulfate or potassium chloride. These all drugs which are alkaline drugs, they have tendency to cause GI irritation. Okay, so this kind of drugs can be coated with neutral material particles and then that can be given, so that will not irritate your GI tract. Okay, so yes, that can be the advantage. The next is alteration in site of absorption. Yes, if you want to alter the site of absorption, then you can go for microencapsulation. Say for example, I want my drug to be released in intestine. Then what I will be doing, I will be taking the material or polymer, say for example cellulose acetate thiolate, okay, which releases at intestinal or enteric pH. I'll be taking that material and I'll be coating my drug with that material, forming small capsules, that is microcapsules. So what happens, my drug will be absorbed in enteric part only. Okay, so that is advantage. And last is to improve stability. Yes, say for example, if you want to improve the stability of vitamin A, then we can produce microcapsules. This microcapsules will be enhancing the stability of my drug. Let's see which type of questions are being asked in exam. So I hope basic concepts of microcapsules and microspheres are clear to you. Thank you so much, and please subscribe Pharma Ignite for more such videos. Thank you so much.